I know. It is the end of July and you're still squeezing in that lake trip, that one more late bedtime campfire, that one more we'll figure it out later, easy breezy summer day. And I'm about to sit over here and talk to you about back to school. But that's exactly why we need to talk about it right now. Because here's the thing. The first 2 weeks of a new school year don't just kick off the year. They set the tone for the entire season. So what you walk into September with is basically the operating system your household will go through until June. And most of us don't find that out until we're running on fumes 3 weeks in, already behind on forms and snacks and schedules and our own sanity. So let's solve that problem right now, while we have the capacity to do so. Welcome to the Balance It Method podcast. If you're a working mom juggling a career, kids, housework, a social life, and endless piles of laundry, then you are in the right place, my friend. I'm Tamara, a mom, business owner, and your balanced living bestie. Each week, we will discuss simple, practical ways to better manage your time and energy so you can get things checked off that to-do list without burning yourself out in the process. If you're ready to take off that busy badge of honor and finally take control over life's chaos, then let's take this journey together as we learn how to balance it. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of the Balance It Method podcast. I'm your host, Tamara, and if you're new around here, welcome, my friend. This is the place where us working moms are coming together to talk about all the things we have on our to-do list, and we figure out ways that we can get them done without burning ourselves into the ground while we're trying to do them, so that we can check them off the list and move on with our lives. And today we're going to discuss something that's probably not even on your to-do list yet, because you've been putting it off, because you don't want to think about it because it's a beautiful, sunshiny, summery day and you don't want to think about back to school and fall. Or maybe you're on the other end of the spectrum and you're like, yes, please bring fall on. I need structure. I need schedules. I need things set up so my life doesn't just have to operate on survival mode every day because summer is so hard. And the reason that we like to discuss this around this time of year is just to put a little bug in the back of your head, just to think about how you want this school year to look and feel for you and your family before we get bombarded with all of the signups for things and all of the forms that we have to sign that come home and all of the demands that the school year brings for our time. And oftentimes this is happening because we treat back to school prep like it's a 1 week activity and we just have to go shopping for supplies, maybe a haircut. And then last minute we're scrambling trying to figure out what time the bus is going to pick our kids up. What time are we supposed to be at the school to pick our kids up? And for many of us, we just fall back into those old patterns and ways of being where we're just like, okay, the school year is just a chaotic season and we just know it's going to be hell for the next few months. So here's what I want you to think about today. Weeks before probably anybody else who doesn't listen to this podcast is going to be thinking about it. This school year doesn't have to start in like a defense mode or a catch-up mode. You get to decide, and you can decide right now what you want this school year to feel like. Not just what time everything's happening at and what your schedule is going to look like, but an actual rhythm to your days, how you want your energy to feel when you walk into September. And if you are like me and you want this school year to run really smoothly, you have to come into it with an intention. Now, this doesn't mean that you need like any sort of checklist or a morning routine or any of those things. What we really need as working moms who have a lot going on, especially during the school years, is a way of operating in our lives that makes it easier, makes it less stressful, makes it more like a rhythm of how we're doing things, how we're getting through each day, instead of just living in survival mode. And what we need to do to have that in our lives is just a toolkit of different way of doing things outside of what you've maybe been taught about being productive and about being a working mom. And so throughout the month of August, I'm going to be running my back to school prep series right here on the podcast. And each episode is going to build on the next. So by the time it is that week before back to school starts, you're not scrambling to make sure everything is ready. And the cool part is, this is the first time I'm going to be doing this, but the final episode of this series, we're going to do a video episode. So you can still listen to the audio or you can watch the video where I'm going to be walking you through a step-by-step of how to control your busy week before that week starts to control you, so that you can really feel prepared to step into the fall and the school year with confidence. So during week 1 of this series, we're going to map the rest of your summer. So before you can plan for your school year, you have to be honest about what you actually have left on your plate. So this episode will help you to walk through looking at what's still going on in your summer calendar, trips or last hurrahs, whatever you've got going on. And that way we'll be able to map out day by day what logistically has to happen before that first bell rings. That way you're not trying to cram it into the last 72 hours. In week 2, we are going to be trimming some fat off your schedules. So this is your permission to quit episode before adding anything new. We're going to audit what we already have there, and we're cutting what doesn't need to be there. Not just about delegating or postponing a chore, but this is actually about taking these tasks, these chores off of your plate completely. So you're going to want to tune in for that one for sure. In week 3, we're going to be looking at 4 systems that you can put on trial mode right now. So we'll be discussing 4 specific systems to start testing in the last weeks of your summer, so that while the pressure is still low, so that they're second nature by the time school starts. This is more like experimental period, like try it for now and then tweak it, and then it can pretty much run on autopilot once your year actually begins. And then in week 4, like I mentioned, we're going to be doing a video episode where I'm going to walk you through how to actually build an ideal weekly flow, how everything, your school, your work, your kids, yourself, can fit into your week and almost every single day without it being like a trade-off. This, my friends, is where the term balance comes from, right? So this episode will really be how to balance it. So friends, make sure you are following this podcast so that you get notified when the new episodes come out, so that you don't miss a single one of them. And accountability is always a great thing to have when you're trying something new. So why don't you send this episode or text a friend and be like, hey, do you want to get prepared to have like a really good back to school season with me? And we'll do this back to school series together, and then you can hold each other accountable for that. Okay, my friends, that is it for today. This little short episode. I hope that it met you where you're at and you're excited about getting things organized and being that mom that has it all together. You know, that mom, you can be that mom. All right, and I will teach you how to do that when we come back next month. And I'll see you then. Bye, guys.